Tommy Tuberville, who at a rally in the great state of Nevada.
Tuberville?
Tuberville.
Came out
Vote for 2
and,
on that, JVL.
I mean, basically, the only thing missing was the N-word. Like, this is not, as our colleague Ted Johnson, who's going to write a piece about this, said, like, this wasn't a dog whistle. It was basically a rebel yell. And talked about how, the Democrats aren't soft on crime. They're pro-crime because they want those people that they think are owed reparations to come and take your things from you. And the thing that brought me up short about this was the crowd reaction, because the pop that he got off of this was, as I said in my newsletter, is as if Skinner had come out on stage and said, "We're doing Free Bird! We're doing Free Bird!" And the people went crazy for it. I think if this had happened at the American Enterprise Institute, if the senator, the junior senator from the state of Alabama had said something like that at AEI, they might have sort of looked down or looked away or pretended, they had missed that thing. But over the great people who show up at political rallies in Nevada, they went crazy. It was this huge applause line. Sarah, tell me about this. What does this make you feel like?
Here's my question. Was it a Lake rally or a Masters rally? For whom was
it Nevada? So it was a Laxalt, I believe.
Sorry, was it Laxalt or Lombardo? Yeah, sorry, wrong state.
I don't know that. I just saw the Save America thing, and I believe it was a Laxalt rally, but I could be wrong. Sebastian, you can fact check me if you have the Google machine open.
Oh, I was just checking to see who it was that didn't put out a statement saying that they disavowed the remarks from their colleague who was rallying for them. Yeah, I mean, I actually am pretty surprised. Like that, it's like very blatant. I'm surprised. I know what you guys are going to say. You're going to mock me if I say I'm surprised that like nobody said anything, because of course nobody says anything about Walker. Like nobody said anything about anything. But he said those people that they think we should give reparations to are the ones committing all the crime. Who? I think we cracked his code, right? Like I think it's clear.
Black people.
I think, yeah. I'm
pretty sure it's black people.
There's no thinly veiled. So I don't know. I mean, I guess, I don't know. Trump said Mexicans are rapists and thieves and said Muslims couldn't come into the country. So like, I guess this is where we are now. And this is like, no Republicans are going to say anything about it. What do you want me to say?
Well, Tim? This is where we are now. Right? Yeah. I mean, that's absolutely where we are now. You would think, it does make me feel bad before I get into the mocking side of it for like all of his players. You remember Tommy Tuberville?
I had that thought too. I thought that too. Like this is a guy who knows a lot of black people, right?
And thinking about it, speaking of thieves, all of the players that worked for him got paid nothing, actually. Speaking of reparations and thieves, well, he made multi millions of dollars as a head football coach as part of the NCAA cartel.
I'm sure he cared about their education.
Yeah, very deeply. Yeah, he cared very deeply about their, making sure they were educated. I'm sure,
they're forming young men.
Fucking bullshit. So, yeah, I mean, there definitely was a thief in that situation. I don't. The crowd reaction though, JV, I think is really where you hit on it, and that comes back to this element of the bottom up and what is wanted, right, and why Trump rose to the top originally, and what the appeal was. Like it was a very Trumpian kind of line, right, where it's while it is a rebel yell, it's like just enough to, for him to be like, what do you mean? It's only the liberal media. It says it was about black people, right? I mean, he didn't actually say the N-word. He didn't actually say that, right? And so this was Trump's game, right? It was the same game that Trump always used to play. It was very obvious to anybody who was paying attention. It's obvious to the crowd, but then you get called out on it, and it's like, well, I don't know. But this has. So I was in Arizona last week, which maybe we get this mixed up, Sarah. That, by the way, that was a rally for both Laxalt and Lombardo. Lombardo is one of the good Republicans.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. That's why I asked, because Lombardo is supposed to be Mr. Normie.
Yeah. But I was in Arizona, and at this lake. Masters event, and it's similar, right? Like the crowd reactions are very telling. What the folks there want, and like the biggest scream at the event that I was at was when Carrie Lake said that we got to put that old bat Mitch McConnell out to pasture. They were
It's a
not, which I
mixed
wrote about.
metaphor.
I don't know. Maybe she didn't say pasture. She did say old bat. We got to get rid of that old bat, Mitch McConnell. But
Forgive me. She's running for which office?
Governor. Governor.
Oh,
Yeah.
governor.
Yeah.
So the governor of Arizona has some power over what the
she's got a
Senate
lot
minority or
she
majority
thinks she's
leader
going to have
will
a lot of powers.
Okay.
There was the scream, which I wrote about in my Cruz article yesterday for the Bulwark about, how someone in the crowd is screaming out 2,000 mules, 2,000, and then Ted Cruz like nonsensically goes like, yeah, text 2,000 mules, and everybody's like, whoa, he said it, 2,000 mules, right? And so like this is the material that is firing up the crowd, and it goes to just sort of this fundamental discussion of where the poison fruit is in the party, and it's going to tie into the other things we're talking about.
So I wanted to smush together here that Tulsi Gabbard, aloha, a very sensitive soul from the great state of Hawaii.
Spirit of aloha.
She looked at this party this weekend with Tommy Tuberville and the stuff about black people, and said, you know what, that's where I want to be. And so she has left the Democratic Party and is over, I guess, formally or semi-formally going to align herself with the Tommy Tubervilles and Carrie Lakes of the world.
In that thread, talks about the Democrats' anti-white racism.
Yeah.
As one of the reasons.
Really, and I'm sure she's very broken up about that. But I think in fairness to her, Tulsi is probably not motivated to switch parties because of the Tommy Tuberville part of the coalition. I think she's probably more interested in the Elon Musk part of the coalition, which is sucking up to Putin. Is that fair? Because this is now literally this is the Republican voting coalition. Racists, authoritarians, and Putin lovers / apologists, and that's the new fusionism.
Did you guys see that Viktor Orban tweeted? Like he got a Twitter handle and tweeted his first tweet to say, "Where is my friend Donald Trump?" with an emoji or like a clip of John Travolta in Pulp Fiction, like looking around, like you've seen that GIF, whereas like, and there's just something about that that's so wild. Like it's just an authoritarian asking why are authoritarians not allowed on Twitter, and like that's just like a joke and a meme. And this is why nothing matters. Like the racism, remember when Donald Trump said that Cori Bush and AOC and they should all go back to where they came from? Like this is why I think we should be shocked and horrified by this. There is no doubt in what he's saying. But it's also been a feature now. And I think that Tulsi Gabbard, like I actually thought what you were going to say, you said she was like coming for the Elon Musk part of the coalition. I thought you were going to say she's coming for the voters because like this is where she can find a real support system, right? Like this is where she can bask in the love of an audience that is here for her particular brand of nonsense, which is basically Tucker Carlson's audience. And that's and it is.
Well, she's coming for Glenn Greenwald's money. I mean, that's what it is, right? She's looking at Glenn Greenwald and saying, "Ooh, yoink."
Yeah, but as best I can tell, there is endless boomer cash for these like former Democrats who are willing to, say that they obviously disavow the Democratic Party for all of the reasons and
anti-white racism,
right? But here's the thing, right? So like this is so we. I think on this particular podcast, look at the Democrats and think, yeah, so Tulsi Gabbard wants to be in the Republican Party because they've lost their minds. The Democrats seem to be behaving responsibly by backing Ukraine. They now seem like a slightly better coalition for people like us. And this is a great sort that is happening, right? Like Liz Cheney wants to be on the pro-democracy side now, which is why she's endorsed a number of Democratic candidates and is opposing a bunch of Republican candidates. And Tulsi Gabbard is like, no, my home is with Tucker and his audience. Those are my people. Because they love Assad like I love Assad. They love dictators and Putin like I love dictators and Putin. And that's the thing we're witnessing in real time.
It's literal anti-Americanism. This is to go way back to the before times. One of the things that conservatives used to say is there was a Gene Kirkpatrick line about this, right? These people, why do they hate America? The left is just anti-American. This was like a big applause line on the right. And now that's real, but it's flipped around the other side. And what it is you have a whole bunch of conservatives who just hate America. They are on the side of Viktor Orban and not Joe Biden. They are on the side of Vladimir Putin and not the American military.
Oh, we're so innocent because we're so innocent.
What they hate is the idea of what America is now. They don't like America as it is, right? They are against it, not into it.
And this is what ties the Tuberville and the Tulsi and the Elon thing together, right? It's really this banal kind of resentment of the American elites, right? Like, and it's really as simple as that. Like, Tulsi does not like that she did not get the love that she felt like she deserved on the Democratic debate stage, and that she does get it from Tucker, and she doesn't like what the cultural elites in America are pushing, and so she doesn't like the narrative that my party this week is about Kanye, about how contrarianism gone wrong. She doesn't like the narrative about the Ukraine war, right? You can't be on the side of the obvious freedom-loving people who are being invaded, right? There's got to be some false flag happening. There's got to be some 3D chess happening, and that's the same thing as Tuberville, right? Like, it is tied into this, right? The elites are talking about, we need to be concerned about racism, right? So, they're flirting with reparations. So now I need to be able to talk about, the anti-PC reality of the fact that it's the criminals that want reparations, right? Like, the anti-conventional wisdom, anti-PC contrarianism is what really unites these folks. Like, when you said it's fusionism, that implies that like there is this deep, isolationist, racist, ideological bent, and it's like the libertarians and the social conservatives coming together, to work together in a coalition. It's not that, right? It's all of these people that like their whole ideology is that whatever the media conventional wisdom is wrong and it's bad, and I'm gonna go the other way. Hey, hope you enjoyed that teaser of The Next Level. Click the link down below for the full episode and head on over to the Next Level YouTube page and click that subscribe button.